top news headlines. Tom TV's Onel Sambanduram and Naresh Khagembam back second prize of media campaign on Safe Nambul. India crosses 50 lakh mark with spite of over 90,000 cases, 1,290 deaths in 24 hours. Manipur coronavirus count goes up to 8,210, death toll stands at 47. And Rajya Sabha passes Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda Bill. A very good afternoon and welcome to Times of Manipur. You're watching the news today at 1 p.m. I'm ALBINA RIAMEI giving you the latest news updates. All Manipur Working Journalists Union AMZU today celebrated its 47th Foundation Day at the Manipur Press Club at Mazurkul, Imphal. As a part of the function, a memorial pillar of journalists was unveiled besides distributing prizes to the winners of a one-day media campaign, Safe Nambul, which was held on June 2 last. Athokpam Jitain of the Sangay Express bagged the prize of Best Print Reporting. Second prize went to Imphal Times, Sambanduram Ajit, and the third prize to Oinam Mission of Poknapam. On the other hand, ISTV's Michael Jit and Aboy received the first prize in electronic media reporting category, while Onel Sambanduram and Naresh Khagembam of Tom TV bagged the second prize, and Prem Chan and Shubhas of Impact TV News won the third prize. At the event, AMZU President Bijoy Kakchingtaba said that the Manipur cabinet has decided to increase the pension amount of journalists under AMZU to Rs 8,000. On the other hand, Education Minister Dr. T.H. Radeshyam, who was attending the program, stressed on the importance of media houses and urged that journalists should not make mistakes on facts and figures while reporting news.
Foundation Day. Birthday celebrate how much I have grown, I can develop advance we used to compete with others. We should not compete with others, we should compete with ourselves. We have to look back and say 47 fourth state pillar of the democracy, judiciary, executive and legislature. Building section fourth state fourth state praise beauty of the press is independence.
Manipur Legislative Assembly Speaker Y. Khem Chan on the occasion underlined on roles of media in the governance.
Role of governance
Meanwhile, Tom TV today celebrated Vishwakarma Puja at the channel's office at Uripok in Imphal. India reported a spike of 83,000 new coronavirus cases yesterday, taking the country's total case tally past 49 lakh. The country's overall COVID tally stands at 49,30,237 and 9,90,061 of them are active cases. Over 38 lakh people in India have recovered after contracting the virus. India now accounts for the highest number of recoveries in the world after surpassing Brazil on Monday. As per latest data on the Health Ministry's portal, 38,59,400 people in India have recovered after getting infected. The death toll in the country has now gone up to 80,776 after 1,054 fresh fatalities were reported from across the country in the last 24 hours. Maharashtra continues to be the worst affected state in India as it continues to witness a sharp rise in daily cases. Delhi, the national capital, is also witnessing a sharp spike over the past few weeks. One silver lining for India is the fatality rate, which has now reduced to 1.64%. The country's recovery rate at over 78% is also higher in comparison with other nations. Manipur has so far registered 47 coronavirus-related deaths, with a 69-year-old man from Imphal West died of the disease at RIAMEI yesterday. 78 persons were discharged yesterday. The total number of positive cases in the state is 8,210 now. The active cases are 1,745, while a total of 6,418 have been discharged after recovery. The recovery rate in the state stands at 78.17% according to the state COVID-19 Command Control Room. Yesterday, 224 persons from general population and 15 personnel from Central Armed Police Force (CAPF) were confirmed as new COVID-19 positive cases. They have been moved to the COVID care facilities. Troops of Assam Rifles under the aegis of Headquarters Inspector General Assam Rifles South yesterday seized contraband items worth more than Rs 3 lakh. Based on intelligence inputs, the troops intercepted the consignment being smuggled across the border from Myanmar. The seizure took place at New Songyang and P. Chengyang around, the Assam Rifles said. The contraband consignment comprised of Myanmar-made mosquito repellent coil, 700 kg of betel nuts and Diablo beer cans. The recovered were handed over to Molcham police station. Last Monday, Assam Rifles officials stopped a suspicious brown-color Maruti Zen car driven by one Paukhanmang Guite, aged 34 years, of Kamkhang village in Churachandpur district. On thorough checking, the officials recovered 1.07 kg of brown sugar worth Rs 2.14 crore. The drug smuggler, along with the recovered items, was handed over to Moreh police station for further investigation. On the third day of the monsoon session of Parliament today, the numerous bills, including the ones on banking regulation and homeopathy, are being introduced in the two houses. In Rajya Sabha, the MPs are currently discussing the COVID-19 pandemic and India's situation with regard to it. As per a media report, Rajya Sabha passes the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda Bill 2020 by voice vote. Health Minister Dr. Harsh thanked the MPs for their inputs on Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda Bill 2020. On issue of Jamnagar Institute being selected, Health Minister says he has respect for the other institutes. Right now, there are 103 institutes of national importance, but none for Ayurveda, says Dr. Bardhan. He says there is no bias. He says that the Jamnagar Institute is the oldest set up by the government and only collaborating institution for WHO. Bodoland People's Front MP from Assam Biswajit Daimari asked the government to make a similar Ayurveda Institute of national importance in the northeast, the report added. Now we have a short commercial break. Stay tuned for more updates.
Taraga Taruk Shuba Gangla Food Product ki Mapo Kumonga Mari Lainana First Gangla Food Selfie Contest September Taramathoidagi Kuntra Fauba Pangthok Chargani Kwaidagi Share Masing Yamba Contestant da Sale Oina Lupa Lising Tara Pizagani Aduga Like Yamba Dana Lupa Lising Mga Pizagani Contest ki Chanakanglo na Kanglagi Food Product ki packet ama hekta pairaga Yamna Mayik Singlaba Selfie ama Aikogi WhatsApp number 8787474818 ta thabirakadabani. WhatsApp ta thabirakliba photo singadu screening tawraba matungda contestant details ka loinana aikogi Facebook page facebook.com/kanglafood ta upload tawjarakani.
Miyoiba samas na laiba makai nong magichang daba yatraba posak singhi manungda medical science su ama oiri pandemic amadi epidemic disease kaya ngasi faubada maithiba piduna lakli. Haurakliba mahiroi singda tungi asaga iroinana UNI Consultancy Private Limited na India amadi award ta MBBS tamningba mahiroi singi 14 lakhs cashback pibata natana scholarship phangba ki khudong chabasu leiraba mahai tampham sang singni ngasimag registration tawbiduna khudong chabasi manghan bigano hena akupa marol gidama contact tawbirau UNI Consultancy Private Limited Uripok Polam Laikai 7005092567 natraga 7640952247
Nabali na ako parang ano. Ay, mayang yun ako sa nagkamawari mo.
ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯊꯣꯛꯂꯛꯄ ꯌꯥꯔꯣꯏ ꯍꯥꯏꯗ꯭ꯔꯣ ꯃꯊꯪꯗ ꯊꯣꯛꯂꯛꯑꯗꯤ ꯁꯤꯔꯦꯅ ꯒꯃꯦꯟꯅ ꯀꯟꯇꯦꯟꯃꯦꯟ ꯖꯣꯟ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯑꯁꯨ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯌꯥꯔꯣꯏꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯔꯣꯏ
ꯄꯨꯜꯂꯒ ꯑꯝꯇ ꯇꯥꯟꯊꯣꯛꯈ꯭ꯔꯗꯤ ꯐꯗꯝꯅꯤ ꯂꯩꯅꯥꯒ ꯂꯣꯏ ꯁꯟꯗꯣꯛ ꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯃꯃꯥ ꯃꯄꯥ ꯄꯣꯖꯤꯇꯤꯚ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯨꯗꯤ ꯃꯥ ꯃꯁꯥ ꯅꯦꯒꯦꯇꯤꯚ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯁꯨꯡꯊꯥ ꯊꯥꯖꯗꯦ ꯆꯠꯈ꯭ꯔꯣ
Nanthoi, nang wakhal nungaitaba khanjanganuko. Tamuna nangi chana thaknaba pojai thinba chakhibane. Geta leire habane. Khara lawshallo. Nangi damak aikhoi leiriko. Nang wakhal sonthagano.
Aduk live duo natro red delivery Manipur the best delivery service pibado pamba posting khudak to oh nang order me amudi toromni bu nang na saning bar restaurant food sing do red delivery app season na order sat sida junate grocery items sing medicine hygiene me amama yam relax ta over psu to the market price den na khuta yor to nangi di khangti idea ore aduga grocery items ni kauni red delivery for you.
Welcome back. Four unidentified men reportedly attempted to kidnap a police constable. The gang was coming in a bit car when the incident happened at the location between Lamding Khumantem Laikai and Sangayumpam under Thoubal district around 5:30 p.m. yesterday. However, volunteers of Lamding Educated Welfare Association caught the kidnappers red-handed and saved the police constable. According to a Thoubal correspondent, the police constable is identified as Khumantem Suresh Babu Singh, son of K.H. Subol of Lamding Khumantem Laikai, while the kidnappers were identified as Maibam Vladimir Singh at Thoiba, age 21 years, of Salungpham Mayai Laikai, Sinam Sujakanta Singh, age 20 years, son of S. Ingocha Singh of Salungpham Mayai Laikai, Samurai Latpam Bishwanath Sharma of Ukhong Sang Mayang Laikai, and Hangsabam Dipak Singh, age 41 years, of Uripok Takhel Lambam Laikai. Later on, Lewa volunteers handed them over to police. Moreh Police, under the supervision of Additional Superintendent of Police Operations M. Amit, today intensified drive against people defying COVID-19 rules at Moreh Market. Passers-by at the market without face masks were fined ₹200 each. The police also collected ₹3,600 from individuals who were riding two-wheelers violating COVID-19 rules. Former Principal Secretary of Manipur Legislative Assembly, Mohammad Sheikh Khairuddin, died at Jenims Hospital yesterday following an illness. Sheikh was also a social worker. He was also a secretary of Islamic Cultural and Educational Guide Center, Lilong, and an advisor to Lilong Chingkham Makha Youth Club and Rural Area United Clubs organization. Sheikh also contested the 2017 State Assembly polls from Lilong constituency on the ticket of Northeast India Development Party. Rauco members deeply condole his death. Assam Manipuri Sahitya Parishad Secretary and All Assam Manipuri Students Union AMSU Nagaon District Founder General Secretary Oza Hizam Pradeep died last night. Pradeep was also a Vice Principal of Jigizant Higher Secondary Hosai. He was also a writer, social worker, teacher and a singer. Pradeep was also a president of Assam Sahitya Sabha, Jogizan branch. Aiba, Lup Hosai, Assam and AMSU condole his death. Vice President of Northeast India Development Party, Ningthausam Diten, today provided edibles to around 120 households in Hairok Part 2 Nagar Panchayat Ward Number 1 area, a COVID-19 containment zone.
COVID-19 की चैथेन खंगलाबा मरक सदा LIDP की Vice President and Diten सिंगना Hairok Part 2 मनिंग लेकाई Ward Number 2 मसु वाला मसु टूदा कोई ngam Isal item si jeng ke dimana sekau anu kilo kecuma koi ngam daba nong sang daya daba kolam sing koi ngasi yang tokseri.
Under the Line Department of Khangabo Constituency, MLA Okram Sujakumar, MG and AREGA job card holders have begun cleaning the site where a Paka drain is coming up. Line Department Khangabo Secretary KH Kalimu Singh said that the drain will help local farmers in their farming activity. A 13-year-old boy drowned in Thoubal River yesterday. The deceased has been identified as Waikom Biranjit Singh, son of W. Ibomcha of Thoubal Shetri Lekai Litan Makong under Thoubal Police Station. The incident happened when he along with his friends was swimming in the river around 3:20 p.m. yesterday. BJP Kishan Morcha State Executive Member and an office bearer of BJP Manipur Pradesh M. Rameshwar yesterday organized a felicitation function for people who joined BJP Kakching Mandal at Kakching. As per our correspondent, 25 persons from Kakching Irum Makhalekai joined the BJP fall yesterday. East Garo Hills police busted a hideout of Bronson Momin, who was the kingpin behind kidnapping of Rintu Marak from Rengdim in July last. His gang members were also apprehended from Rongzeng and Rongmil areas. Bronson Momin went hiding in the dense jungle of Gabil Koksi with an aim to procure sophisticated arms and expand his group to commit various heinous crimes in the bordering areas of East Garo Hills or North Garo Hills or West Khasi Hills and South Garo Hills. The police team, after a tip-off from a reliable source about his movement in Gabil Koksi area, launched an operation in the wee hours today under the supervision of Superintendent of Police East Garo Hills. East of Kathmandu in Nepal was jolted by an earthquake of magnitude 5.4 on the Richter scale this morning, the National Seismological Center said. According to media reports, the earthquake of magnitude 5.4 on the Richter scale hit 50 km east of Kathmandu in Nepal at 5 a.m. today and CS8. More details are awaited. It may be mentioned here that on April 25, 2015, nearly 9,000 people were killed and nearly 22,000 suffered injuries when an earthquake measuring 7.8 on the Richter scale struck the nation. Once again, a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Admission open for Naurem Birahari College, permanently affiliated to Manipur University and included under UGC Act 1956. Free admission for tourism and hospitality management and various other diploma to degree courses and training programs. And also special classes on Indian stock market for those who want to invest or day trade. Classes for beginners to intermediate and intermediate to advanced level. For details, please contact or WhatsApp 700-509-7748 or visit our website www.nbcollege.ac.in.
Iramdamgi khwaidagi liraba amadi amatangairaba Kangla Food nungsibiduna Iramdamgi pothok yokhalasi haibagi wakhalonda Ahanba Kangla Food selfie contest ta saruk yabirakpa pumnamakpu Kangla Food ki maikaidagi thagatpa phongdokchari September 13 dagi hauduna kontra fawba pangthokadoriba Contest asida hauzik fawbada contestant 58 henbana saruk yari amadi lepa leitana su thajinarakpasu leptri ngasi fawbada share masing khwaidagi yambada malomdagi Ambika yumkhaibamna mangzil thari aduga like yambadana khuraidagi cherry nongthomamna mangzil thari ningsing jaba amana aikoina hana su panjakhiba chanakanglon sing ngaktana aranba mongda light amadi share tawbasing final screening numita disqualified tawjagani maramaduna contestant singna contest asibo niyom chumna saruk yabiu haina kangla food ki maikedigi ningsingjari kangla food selfie contest saruk yabiu iramdamgi pothok sawatpiu
LPG dealers pamjai Manipur lanai bottling plant asi lakpaga iroinana Manipur domestic amadi commercial sector da LPG gi dealers khara pamjai dealers oibining basingna officer ayuk pung tara dagi nongthel pung mari fawgi manungda laktuna tanabiu natraga contact tawbirau MS Kangla Gas Solutions Malom Bazar opposite SBI ATM Imphal West contact number 70853999802
Now we do hospital like so. You won't get one of the hall again or no. Some two hospital Saluko. Hey, that's the Pamo. Guess you go where again. That's not the that's not the Busan. Hey, come here. Go. I'm not talking secretary. You're a guy. Covid now, toy them in the ladies and think again. Ha, there's a music trio.
Tatimbo, toy Basa, COVID positive or Javasu, Masada symptoms, Samatuti, Margit to one room, Mamadi. Tungan bathroom letin leiduna home isolation to we yaba health department na piraga leijabane masida akhoi gi thok tadi
wa yam khang mai wani na nang bu doctor ro ha
ai doctor oibo oida bai wana ti ai na haise asing mak tene thajadraga health center da sala hungusine
anugine lalam maba secretary sai ni lo doctor ni ne dang al bigo
ida bo yo khomai 타박수 등록해네. 까나로 람비시데 사말 가져람다나.
아도 고비 나바 토이는 마юм나 좀 레이지. 아코이 로이 시다레네 doctor. 지고 가만히 있다고.
아두기 오이래. COVID-19 positive 오이바 미로 라비싱. 제히 따라기 마카드 레이바 안강싱. 세히 용후 헬라바 할싱. symptom uttaba patient khudingmak yumda leijaba yabagi ayabadu government piri.
Sembra doctor.
Asembagini. Atopa state kiada home isolation tawbadagi anaba phagatpagi chang yam hengar khabani. Delhi da yengo. Mi chama home isolation tawbada saruk mawgradi fagatpa ngamlibani maram asina home isolation se thingbagi mahutta ekhoi punung na sagot kadabani home isolation tawbada kiningai karisu leiti adudi wakhaloi taminare ko ai mu chalukhige
COVID lanting na nabagidamagta home isolation gi pambai sizinabada miyamna sagot piduna mateng pangbiu.
Are you interested in fighting climate change? Are you passionate about saving Manipur's pristine ecology? Are you a journalist? If you are, then you are eligible for the 12 media fellowships of Rs 50,000 a year with citations instituted by the Directorate of Environment and Climate Change. Apply on forms published in all major local dailies on or before the 20th of September. Together, let us save planet Earth, the living world's only home. Think global, act local.
Sina pare, tan ba dinate ko? Asengba, ay na pamba, darkar ba grocery items sinda. Red delivery app season araga order to biro loire. Chaning ba restaurant ki food po erso overpay to budila erdana. Pot khuding ma discount pi baga loina na. Khudak te inate yore isine. Red delivery for you.
Welcome back. US President Donald Trump yesterday hosted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and foreign ministers of the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain for the signing of the historic Abraham Accord, which is the first Arab-Israeli peace deal in 26 years. As per a media report, the UAE was represented by Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed and Bahrain by Foreign Minister Abdul Latif Al-Jayani. The Arab Accord, essentially bilateral agreements with Israel, does not mention the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The president pointed out that these were the only two-peace deals between Israel and the Arab states in more than a quarter of a century. The Union Home Ministry today stated that there had been no infiltration along the Indo-China border in the last 6 months as the government looks to play down the reported incursions by the Chinese troops in Ladakh as attempted transgressions. In reply to a question posed by Rajya Sabha MP Dr. Anil Agarwal, Minister of State for Home Affairs Nityanand Rai stated that no infiltration has been reported along Indo-China border during the last 6 months. His reply listed 47 attempts of infiltration from Pakistan since February. The statement has generated controversy in light of the constant conflict between Chinese PLA and Indian Army in eastern Ladakh since May. Questions have been raised as to why India has been demanding the restoration of status quo ante as of April in diplomatic and military meetings if there were no incursions. Thousands of evacuees displaced by deadly wildfires in Oregon, U.S. settled into a second week of life in shelter and car camping as fire crews battle on, and search teams scoured the ruins of incinerated homes for the missing. As per a Reuters report, with state resources stretched to their limit, President Donald Trump approved a request from Oregon's governor for a federal disaster declaration bolstering U.S. government assistance for emergency response and relief efforts. Dozens of fires have charred some 4.5 million acres of tinder dry brush, grass and woodlands in Oregon, California and Washington state since August, ravaging several small towns, destroying thousands of homes and killing at least 34 people, the report said. Tripura Chief Minister Biplab Deb stated that media should be self-critical of themselves and should see and understand as to how much responsibility they have actually been. Biplab was interacting with the editors of new channels at his office in Agartala yesterday regarding his statement in Subroom on Friday, where he said that the government won't spare media houses for overexcited reporting. Chief Minister Biplab said that his statement in Subroom has been misquoted, clarifying that all he meant was that the people should be aware of the conspiracies taking place around them. With a majority of COVID-19 patients in Mizoram showing no symptoms for the virus, the state government has framed guidelines to place asymptomatic patients under home isolation in a bid to ease the shortage of hospitals to treat COVID-19 positive patients, a health department official said. As per media reports, the guidelines issued by the government yesterday said that COVID-19 patients showing no symptoms and with mild or very mild symptoms will be allowed to stay in home isolation under strict monitoring by health officials. The person should be clinically assigned as a very mild or pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic case by the treating medical officer, it said. Japanese ruling party leader Yoshihide Suga was elected prime minister in a parliamentary vote today, becoming the country's first new premier in nearly 8 years. According to media reports, Suga's ruling Liberal Democratic Party used its majority in the powerful lower house of parliament, which is empowered to pick the premier to elect him to lead the world's third largest economy as it tries to recover from the coronavirus pandemic. Following the vote, Suga is due to enter the Prime Minister's office as the new leader and name his cabinet later in the day. Suga's appointment 2 days after he was elected as LDP leader brings the curtain down on outgoing Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's record run of almost 8 consecutive years in the country's top job. Now the local newspaper headlines.
The Shanghai Express, one more succumbs, Manipur sees highest surge with 293 cases. Myanmar yet to share information of operation against Northeast militants. Pension of retired scribe hiked to Rs 8,000 per month, Cabinet okays Medical College at Churachandpur. Lai Shio poised to be HAC chairman. Janata Dal United still undecided for bypolls. The People's Chronicle. Highest ever spike takes tally to 8,210, death toll 48. Churachandpur Medical College Foundation stormed this month. No cabinet reshuffle for now, says Vijayanta Pandey. Andro locals oppose Santal Park Triple P model. Sangma trying to distort history of NPP's origin, says Thangmilyan. Ukhrul institutional quarantine centers to close down. Imphal Free Press. In Rajnath Singh's comments to Parliament, strong warning to China. Thangmilyan Kipgan accused Conrad Sangma of coup to take over NPP. Manipur Mail. Foundation Day celebration of Women Commission held. Civil rights bodies demand state rape victim corpus fund. Thangmilyan alleges coup. Rongmei Youth Body election. Flight passenger can go directly to testing center.
Before we end the bulletin, the top news headlines once again. Tom TV's Onel Sambanduram and Naresh Khagembam back second prize of media campaign on Save Nambul. India crosses 50 lakh mark with spite of over 90,000 cases, 1,290 deaths in 24 hours. Manipur coronavirus count goes up to 8,210, death toll stands at 47. And Rajya Sabha passes Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda Bill. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us. Good day ahead.